Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, second stream of today. And Bitcoin is still in rally mode. And not only that, crypto is starting to really catch up. So, why is Bitcoin in rally mode? Why is the entire market trending up? Well, I'm going to talk about it today. Today's a good day. So, thanks for tuning in. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel, 3 streams every day, almost every day. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on social media and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're doing good. We are doing good. Bitcoin is at 44,000. Man, it seemed like so long ago that we were just in the 30s, right? Now it seems like we're getting used to the 40s already, although it's only been like 2 days. This is how fast things move in crypto. And I've told you guys, you know what? We will get through it. We will come back, right? You have to be patient. And, you know, it's unfortunate that a lot of people during this period right here capitulated and basically sold out and just gave up. And I said, you know what? It's never good. It's never good to completely give up and fall to emotions because you just don't know when things turn around. And right now they are turning around and there's a lot of good news. There's a lot of short squeezes and the metrics look even better. So right now we're at 44, which is coming up to a previous resistance right here, right? So that was a previous resistance. We're hitting it. And if we break through that, well, the next step is the 46s. And if we keep going and there's more short squeezes, we'll be back up to 50,000 in no time, right? So things are looking pretty good, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There is still one major event that's coming this week. But before I get to that, let's take a look. Yeah, everything is in the green today. Outside of a few stable coins, everything is in the green. Things are catching up. You have many projects in double digits. You know, even XRP is pumping today. Dogecoin is pumping. SHIB is up 50%. I missed that. I don't know what's going on with SHIB up 50% outside of their layer 2. Wow, congratulations. Polygon up 15%. Big news with Polygon. I'm going to share with you guys today. I noticed that Cadena is up 20-something%. Where are they? You know, a lot of you guys are Cadena fans, right? 24%. It's looking good today. It's looking good. Of course, things are still cheap compared to you know, 90 days ago. So there's still plenty of room to grow, right? We're still early. We're in recovery mode, yes. We're in rally mode, yes. But we're nowhere near all-time high, and that's a good thing. Is that means those of you guys that did not take advantage of our recent bottom at 33,000, you know, you still have time to DCA in, right? So, looking good, looking good. Now, let's start out with the biggest news of today. And this really should be no surprise these days, but you have KPMG, which is one of the biggest what do you call it? They kind of do a lot of things. They do auditing, tax, accounting. I guess one of the big consulting firms out there, okay? With $32 billion in revenue for 2021, so they are giant. They have decided to add Bitcoin and Ether to their balance sheet, okay? This is a growing trend. And these are, yes, they're institutions, but these are institutions that are not day trading. Okay, they're not hedge funds. They're not Wall Street guys that are panic selling and panic buying at this point. These guys, along with MicroStrategy and even Tesla and others, Square mining companies, they're just adding. They're adding Bitcoin and Ether to their balance sheet. This is what I've been saying about hedging against inflation. These guys are not going to be buying gold to hedge against inflation. No. And they're not really buying Bitcoin because they think Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. No, that's not that too, but it's a benefit. They're buying because of inflation. They're all afraid of inflation. And what do you do to protect your cash? You buy Bitcoin and Ether. Okay, so that's the big news out today. In terms of how much was not disclosed, I mean, I'm assuming this is a sizable amount, but this does contribute to the liquid supply going down. Okay, I'll show you that in a little bit. But Tesla also disclosed that they hold $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, and after today's pump, it's probably more than $2 billion. So it's still a significant amount. And yes, I know some of us do not like Elon for his FUD and the ESG concerns and stopping Bitcoin's payments from 2021. I know some of us still have not moved past that, but he is still a Bitcoin fan. Tesla still owns a ton of Bitcoin. SpaceX owns a ton of Bitcoin. He himself owns a ton of Bitcoin, right? So he is a supporter of Bitcoin. And one of the reasons why, Tesla continues to hold it is because of inflation, right? Everyone is afraid of inflation. This is why I say it's good to be buying Bitcoin. It's the only inflation hedge if you think about it. The only one that's reasonable or sensible at this point. Now, I mentioned about liquid supply. Obviously, with Tesla, MicroStrategy, the miners, Grayscale, KPMG now, right? This is why the liquid supply keeps going up, okay? You could see even falling from 69 down to 33, the illiquid supply continued to go up. It never wavered. It never came down. And that's because the whales, the retail investors like you and I, the holders, the miners, and the good institutions, they continue to add more and more and more Bitcoins to their balance sheet or to their wallet, to their custodian, and they are just taking Bitcoin away from the exchanges. And that's what's happening. We may have price fluctuations, we may have volatility, but know that all of that, right, is just based on a small supply of Bitcoin, a very small supply that sits on exchanges. The vast majority of Bitcoin does not sit in any of the exchanges. It sits in people's wallets, right? And that is what's happening right now. This is part of fundamentals. This is why I never gave up on Bitcoin. So many people sold out because they're fearful of short-term volatility. But I'm looking at things like this. I'm like, the fundamental of Bitcoin has never been stronger. Hash rate is at an all-time high. Liquid supply is at an all-time high. I mean, these things measure the health of Bitcoin. And none of the long-term holders have sold. Miners are not selling. I mean, this is the reason why you want to be bullish and you want to hold a Bitcoin. Because the fundamentals keep getting better. They're not going the opposite direction, right? So, very positive, very, very positive. Courtney, I appreciate that. I really do. Mario, not go check out Energy Web. Not a big, I shouldn't say not a big fan. I'm just neutral on them. Yes. All right. So, why is Bitcoin in rally mode? Well, I think KPMG brought a lot of FOMO in overall. Bitcoin is it's starting to recover, right? So there's FOMO. There's a ton of cash that's sitting on the sidelines right now, waiting to enter back in. And it's definitely coming back in. We're still heading up. 44, about 2. Let me bring up the liquidations because I have a feeling we're getting a lot of short squeezes right now. Okay, so let's say the hour. Yeah, you could see the red, right? You can see 24 million shorts liquidated. 19 million, 19 million, 6 million. You add all that up, including all the liquidations from yesterday and over here from a few days ago last week. It's starting to catch up. That's good. That's good. We're not seeing longs getting liquidated now. We're seeing shorts. Every shorter of Bitcoin should be liquidated, okay? And as Bitcoin goes up and up and up, we're going to see more. We're going to see more short squeezes. That's what we want. So that's very positive. That's also driving Bitcoin up right now. Very good. What else is there? Well, there's just a lot of goodness. A lot of goodness right now. In terms of long-term holders, I mentioned about this, that supports the the liquid supply going up. I showed this last night. I'm going to show it again. But basically, long-term holders are increasing. Keeps increasing. Almost every single category keeps increasing. In fact, 11% over the last year. Okay? So, this will be a continuous theme. As more and more people get into the space, and as they educate themselves and truly understand what Bitcoin is all about and crypto, they're just go hold it. They're going to ignore short-term volatility. And as more gets involved and hold Bitcoin and take it out of supply, it's going to cause things to go up. Okay, so another thing that showcases that FOMO is coming back in is, look at this, USDC reserves. It has been climbing. It has been climbing since Bitcoin has been falling for 69,000, right? And that's because a lot of people have been selling and holding stable coins, but you could see the sharp drop right now over here on the top right-hand side. A sharp drop, which indicates a lot of retail that has been sitting on the sidelines. They're starting to feel the FOMO. They probably regret not buying at 30,000, so now they're thinking, well, we're at 40s, we better start buying, right? So you have FOMO that's starting to build up too. So that's really, really positive. As more money comes into the space, obviously not just from USDC, not just from stable coins. There's a lot of money from Wall Street that's sitting on silence right now. Wall Street has basically sold off all risk on assets, tech stocks, Bitcoin, whatever. They're sitting on billions to tens of billions to hundreds of billions, and that money is going to be flowing in. That money is going to be flowing in. And that is why FS Insight, who I don't know, I'm not familiar with them, they are predicting that Bitcoin will hit 200,000 by the second half of 2022. You read that right. This year. This year. Because they think that Web 3.0 will really carry crypto. There's still a lot of money sitting on the sidelines. There's a lot of companies that's looking to hedge against inflation. And overall, you're going to get an influx of money from people that are now looking to place their cash somewhere so they don't get wrecked with inflation, right? They're going to be turning to Bitcoin. Well, let's see if this is correct. Let's see if it's correct. Last few things. Fear and greed index. I've shown you guys this before. All right? Anytime you got a clump of fear, anytime you have massive amount of fear in a centralized location, that's usually when Bitcoin flips above. And I showed this before many, many times. We had a clump of fear right over here, just like when Bitcoin was hovering the 30,000s before last year, right? Whenever there's a ton of fear, and same thing down here, and same thing down here, when there's a ton of fear, that's usually when things come back up. And right now, look at it. The fear index jumped up. It's at 45. It's still fear, but it's about to break into neutral. And if this keeps going, we're going to be in greed level soon. Okay, I'm not so sure being greed level is a good thing, but the way we're going right now, we're having a sudden reversal, a rally that's making people feel good. So obviously the fear is dissipating, but I did tell you guys is one of the things I look at in terms of if the market is going to flip around, right? You look at that clump of fear and you do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, which is selling. When everyone is panic selling and everyone's telling you to get out and that they have sold, right? That's when you usually want to do the opposite. Maybe not 100%, but you could DCA and dollar cost average, right? And you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself had you done that. So good. Congratulations. All right, lastly, I did want to mention Polygon. Polygon just received a gigantic, almost a $500 million investment from Sequoia Capital. And that's because they believe in Polygon and what they're doing with ZK rollups, with their NFT marketplaces, which there's a lot of, right? All the big moves they've been making in terms of growing them into like Ethereum 2.0. Like, it's almost like you don't need to wait for Ethereum 2.0 because Polygon is already here and it can scale with very little fees. And you can pretty much do everything you can on Ethereum with Polygon. I mean, even OpenSeas, you can mint on Polygon rather than Ethereum. I mean, literally, it's like Ethereum 2.0 is already here. So that's why so many VCs is putting big money into Polygon because they think it's just going to continue growing and continue to get bigger. So good for them. Good for them. I think that's pretty much it. You know, Bitcoin is just keeps on going. 44.2 right now. If you look at the normal the equities market, you can now see that Nasdaq is not doing good today. They're all the indexes are in the red, but Bitcoin is kind of separating itself from the herd now. And I told you guys for weeks, unfortunately, Bitcoin has been correlated with, Nasdaq, with the stock markets, because the Wall Street traders that happen to own both just dumped everything, right? But the fact that last week we had Facebook report horrible earnings, Nasdaq went down, Bitcoin did not, MicroStrategy stock also did not. I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe they were done selling because they had no more to sell. And guess what? Shortly after that, the day afterwards, Bitcoin started flipping upwards, and so did MicroStrategy stock and all the other related stock. If you look at anything that's related to Bitcoin, MicroStrategy is up 6%, Coinbase is up 6%, right? Big jumps. And I bet if you look at, I don't know, Riot or something, it's going to be up, 8%, right? So it's time. It's time for the flippening. That doesn't make sense. The decoupling. Okay, let's just put decoupling there. All right, so 44.3. Now, the one thing is, I have to warn you guys. I mentioned it this morning, and I'll mention it now. We do have a big event that's coming this Thursday, and that relates to inflation, CPI numbers. Okay, so there's be a couple like core CPI and another CPI, basically just measuring inflation. Now, it's predicted to be at 7.3%. So if that turns out to be way worse than expected, then probably we're going to get some dumping of the markets. If it comes in better or expected, it's probably going to make the market go up. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Maybe Bitcoin does the opposite of what the markets do, okay, in a good way. So, for example, if inflation comes out to be worse than expected, let's say it's 7.5% or 7.8%, right? Maybe NASDAQ dumps, but maybe that's when Bitcoin rallies. Because, like I said, there's no better way to hedge against inflation than buying Bitcoin. There's nothing. Nothing you can buy today is a better hedge against inflation than Bitcoin. I challenge anyone to come up with something better. And there is nothing. That is why companies like KPMG all of a sudden decide to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And more are doing so, right? So again, this big event that's coming on Thursday could actually be positive for Bitcoin, all right? I'm just throwing that out there. It's a possibility. However, I still think that if the inflation numbers are horrible and NASDAQ and the markets crash, it's still probably going to bring Bitcoin down. But we could have that chance where it doesn't, because it makes people realize, okay, we need to park our money somewhere that hedges against inflation. Bitcoin has proven itself to be able to hold its value, so let's park it in Bitcoin instead. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys. Now let's do some Q&A. Oh, wait. Before Q&A, I do have a new sponsor today. So this is a project that you guys will like, and I've mentioned about them before. So the new sponsor today is Alchemy Pay. And they are a payment. They're a payment project that helps users get involved with crypto, helps them buy with fiat. There's a lot of fiat on-ramp, and they work with many projects. So last time I covered them, they were involved with a few projects now, and since then, they've been just really expanding. So Alchemy Pay, basically, they consider themselves a hybrid payment system. But just think about it, they involve basically with any kind of payments out there, including the likes of Shopify, okay? So if you wanted to pay for something, like you want to use crypto to pay for something on Shopify, you could do so. You could actually do so with BNB. You could do so with BUSD and many other crypto, right? So they are partnered with Shopify. They're also partnered with Binance Pay. But that's just the beginning. They are actually partnered with many other projects. So over the last few months, they partnered with Avalanche. Okay, so there's Avalanche integration. So you could actually buy Avalanche using fiat, using Alchemy Pay. They partner up with Polygon, like I said, they're partnered up with a lot of big projects. IOTEX, they're partnered up with Near, they're partnered up with Neo, and recently they partnered up with Algorand too. So they're partnered up with some of the biggest projects and chains out there, and basically to utilize them as a fiat on-ramp so that users can get into the space utilizing fiat to buy and pay for things, pay for services, or to pay for products on Shopify. Okay, so they're really integrated with a lot. And also they have started this blockchain infrastructure alliance, which basically brings together the leaders and innovators and experts to kind of shape the blockchain industry and kind of make decisions on how to better blockchain overall, right? And you could see the founding members, including them, with Avalanche, Near, Polygon, Neo, IOTX, Conflux, Bella, and ARPA. So they do have a lot of major chains that's already working together to kind of better the ecosystem overall, right? So it's very promising. And I mentioned them before. So if you want to check them out, URL is in the description of this video. All right, now let's do some Q&A. Whew. Things are still looking good. 44.3. Everything is pretty much in the green outside of stable coins. Today is just a good day. It's a really good day. let's just call it what it is. It's a good day. It's a good day. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss any chats here. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying my early morning stream. You know, I talk more about the, the US market, some stocks related to crypto, right? But overall, try to add a different vibe and take on all things, I guess, financial, right? So hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I've been getting good feedback, so I will continue to do so as, I'll just continue to do so, I guess. All right. A lot of people talking about Veracity. Veracity have been going up too. 37%. Right now it's just, because of the rally, because of the FOMO, a lot of the projects that were simply decimated over the last 2 months, right? They're coming back. It's really what it is. They were fantastic projects to begin with, but there was too much fear. There's just too much fear, too many people selling out. You can see Veracity used to be at 8 cents, 9 cents, right? And now, even with their rally, they're only at 3 cents, not even half back, right? So there's a lot of room to grow. But a lot of these projects that just simply were oversold, they're coming back in full force. So yes. Gwen says, yep, a lot of people like Alchemy. Blue Zell is getting into the metaverse. I've given up that project. They used to be, a decentralized database. I don't know if they've gone beyond that. Maybe. What do you think about Cadena? I like Cadena. I've been saying, Cadena has a promising future. CADX is leading the way. Once CADX goes live, there's some TVL added, and they add a lot more DEXs. It's going to help them. Cadena is early, but they're having a good recovery day today. When should I sell the dips? Randy, if you don't have any money on the side, you should sell to take profits. Always have some profits, some cash on the side. I would recommend about 25-30%, so you could take advantage of the dips. And it just makes you less inclined to panic sell. Most people panic sell because they don't have the ability to DCA. They don't have the ability to dollar cost average. And they overinvested. Okay? I think those are the main reasons. Of course, there's fear and stuff like that. But if you do have, that's why I talk about DeFi a lot now, right? You stake your crypto that you're holding, you're earning rewards, and if you have cash on the side, well, it helps to alleviate those fears so that you can stay in the game, so that you can enjoy these recoveries. Otherwise, if you sold, you're regretting it right now, right? Have you heard of Flux? Christopher, I have. They're like a decentralized computing play. I like them because they're very involved with CADX, Cadena, UFO. They have a tight relationship, and they have they have a Zelcore, which is a pretty good wallet. So I'm familiar with them. Yeah, good project. Talcoin, they're remittance. I don't hear much about them these days, but ever since they got their bank, which I thought was huge, news kind of died off a little bit. But I do think they're still in the right space. Remittance, especially using crypto, is really positive, right? It's made for it, you could argue. What do you think about MMF? They took the #2 spot on Chronos. They have a Tomb fork called Savannah Finance coming up. I've never heard of MMF. Or maybe I have. Not a fan of that dog logo, that's for sure. Is this the right project? The most complete holistic ecosystem on Chronos chain. I don't even know what that means. I don't know. It's just a lot of buzzwords. 370 million locked in. That's a good start. Usually things don't get serious until you break that 1 billion mark for TVL, but it's a start. It's a start. I don't know too much about this, but let's see in terms of farms, what kind of interest you can make here. About 300 in terms of MMF, UDS. What's interesting, like CRO, like if you hold crypto.com, you can stake CRO USDC pair for 80% APR. That's not bad. USDT is 74%, but liquidity is still relatively low. Wow, this is interesting. You could do USDC to USDT, so you don't have to worry about permanent loss, and still get 15%. That's interesting. That's interesting. You die with USDC, also 19%. Wow, stablecoin staking. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right. What else is there? How are my Litecoin gains? In a toilet. In a toilet. What are CRU arbitrage ads under my videos? I don't have any arbitrage ads. If you see them, they're scams and you should report them. Because I don't have any arbitrage. I'm not a trader. I'll never advertise trading. So unfortunately, there's a lot of scammers, impersonators, and just overall YouTube scam ads, right? So make sure you never send your crypto to anyone, no matter how legit it looks. If someone asks you to send your crypto to double it some way or whatever, it's not real. It's not real. What else is there? Thoughts on Shiba making a big jump? I covered this last night, but they have continued to jump. Last night they were up about 20-something%. So the big thing about Shiba is they are trying to go legit. They're coming out with their layer 2 solution because Shiba right now is on Ethereum. So they're plagued with the same problems, the same congestion and high fees, especially when it comes to Shiba Swap. So now they're utilizing their Shibrarium or something like that, their layer 2, then they become like a fully fledged like layer 1 almost, right? They could build upon what they have. So yeah, that's a huge jump. Hey, they're almost going to be in the top 10. They're right under Avalanche. I think they're going to flip Doge. I mean, at this point, I just don't see any reason to hold Doge other than Elon pumping them. But SHIB should flip above Doge. But Avalanche, I see continue to go up too. Did you know that Elrond bought ITrust for payments? Knock down. I don't know about that. I heard about that, but I'm not a fan of ITrust. It's like a decentralized PayPal. But the problem is there's still like an arbitration thing inside where you have someone like ITrust that's holding your money before a vendor gets it. That defeats the purpose of crypto. I just don't see that. I don't like it. So I never liked ITrust. But maybe they'll change that. I talked about Shiba already. Zilliqa. You know what? Zilliqa's just hanging in there. I like them, but they haven't made significant traction over 2021 in terms of, getting the DeFi projects come on board and locking TVL. So that's what they need. They need more of that. And you can see that, yeah, they're down from their huge price jump or peak at 23 cents. So still far away from that. I talked to one of the co-founders, Armit, and I believe he's still the co-founder or CEO, but they had a lot of things going on. I like the project overall. They've been around since 2018. Helium is good, especially with 5G, Wi-Fi, building out a mesh network, utilizing miners. I think it's a really good idea. And they already have like tens of thousands of miners, aka antennas, around the world. So I like Helium. Uniswap, you can't really say anything bad about Uniswap. It's the biggest DEX out there, still widely used by many. So yeah, overall it's good. It's good. This crypto market cap, I don't know what's wrong with CMC. Okay, we're above 2 trillion, and all of a sudden this drops below 1.7. I mean, they just can't handle the traffic, I think. Bitcoin is still holding above 44,000, right? Can we keep going? Can we see 46,000 today? Because there's a big jump from where we are, like right around here. You could see it right here, right? Last time we peaked over here about January 12th and 13th. If we could break through this, you could see over here, there's not a lot of stopping points, right? So if we could break through this line right here, that was a big like 2K drop. So if we could break through where we are, we could certainly see 45, 46 in no time. So can we see that today? I don't know. Maybe. SLP. I mentioned about SLP. So Axie is changing up their token economics. Basically, they're going to decrease the number of SLP that's being released. I think that's going to help Axie overall, because they were in a mode where basically things were going to collapse because of how much SLP was being released. So overall, though, I still think holding Axie is better than SLP, in my opinion. I have no idea what you're saying. IDGAF. Some kind of move to earn game? It's like a weight loss game, maybe? Yeah, I don't know if that's going to motivate me. I'm going to be honest there. I just need to get back eating more healthy and get back to exercise. All right, Geostone, appreciate that. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it. You know what? Enjoy the gains. Enjoy the gains. Enjoy all the green right now, right? It's a rally mode. We're not back to all-time highs. Don't let the naysayers will say, "Oh, look, it's not back to all-time highs." Of course, it's not, right? But it's a good start, and it's a good start. We're starting to see that decouple. We're starting to see the market decouple away from Nasdaq, which is actually in the red right now. Okay, so we're starting to see that happen. We're starting to see FOMO come back in. And overall, this is positive. And I've been saying to stick with Bitcoin, stick with crypto, because the fundamentals of the network, adoption and usage and everything that's measurable is still on the uprise. And today we had another big firm that just confirmed they added Bitcoin and Ether to their balance sheet. This is very, very positive. Very positive indeed. All right, smash with a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.